Tommaso Ciampa. All right, I'm trying to understand this. So Tommaso Ciampa, he made his debut about 2 weeks ago on AEW Dynamite. He came out after Mark Briscoe had a match, and he challenged Mark Briscoe for the the TNT Championship. All right, so they had a match on Collision about 2 weeks ago, and Tommaso defeated Mark Briscoe. So at first I'm thinking, okay, why would they have Tommaso, AEW, have Tommaso just defeat Mark Briscoe? He's, over with the crowd. He is just a really good wrestler. He's a really good baby face. He's just crazy. He's a madman. Why would you just have Tommaso Ciampa debut, have his first match, at AEW Collision or on AEW Collision and defeat Mark Briscoe? It doesn't make any sense, right? But okay, they're trying something different. They want to make a big splash. Want Tommaso to make a big splash. I'm like, okay, let's go for it. Put the title on him. Okay, I get it. Even though I was against it at first, but I'm like, okay, have him come in. Just dominating. Okay, right? But last week on AEW Dynamite, Tommaso Ciampa had a match against Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher, I feel like he has so much potential to be a star. And the booking in AEW just overall, it hasn't been good because when they put the title on Kyle Fletcher, whatever, a few months ago, I'm like, okay, let this guy dominate, make his booking and his matches, make them feel important, right? But whatever. So I feel like they dropped the ball on him already. So anyway, we have the match AEW Dynamite last week. And overall, I enjoyed the match, even though I felt like they did a little too much, not selling moves, and sometimes it was move after move. You have to, guys, sell the moves to me. And people kicking out of signatures and finishers all the time. I'm not really crazy about that, but whatever. Uh, Kyle Fletcher defeated Tommaso Ciampa, and I was like, what was the point of having Tommaso defeat Mark Briscoe just for him to lose the title right away? It does not make any sense. If you want to make a big splash, have the guy win his first match in AEW by winning a championship. Continue to have that guy dominate because in WWE, I feel like Tommaso was just one of those guys just had so much potential. And I'm not saying, hey, he was going to be the world champ or anything like that. But I feel like the booking in WWE wasn't good when he was with Johnny Gargano, and I'm not a fan of Johnny Gargano at all. So I didn't get that. So I feel like maybe AEW was going to do it right, but who knows? But so anyway, Kyle Fletcher defeated him, and then AEW Grand Slam, Mark Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher, they had a match, and it was in Australia, and Kyle Fletcher won that match. And it's I just don't get it. I just don't get it. If What was the point of Tommaso winning the championship in the first place? They could have just had, Mark Briscoe cut a promo saying, hey, who wants to challenge me? Grand Slam is coming up in Australia, and then have Kyle Fletcher come out. It's just kind of like the booking is just still weird to me and just questionable. I just don't get it. That booking was just kind of chaotic. But let's see. Will Tony Khan give Kyle Fletcher a real run and a decent run with the championship, and then maybe sometime next year have Kyle Fletcher become the world champion? You have to build stars, and so far AEW is continuing to struggle with building stars. And then with Tommaso Ciampa, what's next for him? Because sometimes, or not sometimes, but in AEW, you'll have someone debut, and it'll be a hot debut for the most part, and then after a couple of months, the person or the wrestler doesn't mean anything. They might lose 5 matches in a row, and then they might win two, and then lose another two, then win two. It's just like it's not a consistent booking. So we shall see. But I hope with Kyle Fletcher this time that they will, do something with him, get him, and also Fletcher has to get away from Don Callis and the Don Callis family. It's just ridiculous. I don't know why the guy's in that group. It just Don Callis as a manager is just horrible. He's not good.